What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. We got a little curveball here. Obviously, we're used to Josh being on the show, but hey, some things came up. Matt is filling in, doing an excellent job. I assume, like he always will for us. So we're here. We're going to talk about everything that we always talk about. But Matt, of course, I have to start with you. How are we doing, brother?
Man, we are doing great. We're doing great this fine Monday, December 13th. School is finished for me, so I'm
Must
off
be
till
nice.
January 18th. Winter break is upon us. Packers got a nice statement win over the Chicago Bears. You know, we're one step closer to the NFC North, and just getting excited to be talking about some football this week. Definitely going to be excited to delve in on your New England Patriots, who are the number one seed in the AFC. Just overall, just straight excitement, and yeah, let's get it rolling.
Yes, sir. Listen, people, before we do, of course, we love interacting with the people as we always do. So we can't see your, Twitter comments, everything. Of course, that's where a lot of people like to watch the show. But don't worry, we got a cover for you. We're everywhere. We're multifaceted, as I like to say now. So you can go over, check us out on Facebook, over there on Unwrapped, YouTube Unwrapped, or our YouTube as well, Generational Sports, Twitch. And then, of course, we are very excited that we have a nice little partnership here with Colorcast. So listen, although we're both beautiful people, as you can clearly tell, if you just want to listen to us, go over to Colorcast. You can find me over there. And just an audio thing. You can leave it running in the back. You don't have to be on the app. You can leave it running, do some errands around the house. Go for a little jog if you're feeling like it, anything of that nature. So make sure you go and check us out over there on Colorcast. Very excited to have them be a part of the fam. But with that being said, we'll jump right into it. We're going to start it off with a little Monday Night Football preview and prediction. Matt, how does that sound?
I think that sounds great.
Well, listen, we got obviously some big news come down before the game starts tonight. We have Tyler Higbee and Jaylen Ramsey. They're both placed, I should say, on COVID protocols. So they are going to miss his game. Apparently, Jaylen Ramsey is going off on Twitter. I have not seen his tweets yet. I'm going to have to check that out. Or Matt, if you can find them. But it takes a little steam away from the game for me. Nothing crazy. I'm obviously still very excited to watch this game. I think Kyler Murray is an unbelievable player to watch in the NFL. It's just more fun with him there. See what Matt Stafford can do up against this Cardinal defense, because you remember, I believe they played in week 4 was their first matchup, and the Cardinals handled them pretty well. That was kind of the moment where we all looked at the Cardinals and were like, wait a minute, are they an actual team? Or because up until that point, we were kind of like, okay, they're 3-0, but are they really, the team that we think that they're going to be? Or are they everything going to come crashing down? And well, nothing's been crashing down. It's only been up from there. They won 2 games without Kyler Murray in the lineup. D-Hop was out for that time as well. So this team is definitely on the rise, and I'm excited to see what they can do. Like I said, it takes a little steam away from it, knowing that the Rams aren't going to be fully healthy. I think, obviously, Jaylen Ramsey is more of a hit than Tyler Higbee. Of course, he is part of their offense, but Jaylen Ramsey is probably the best corner in football. So that obviously makes DeAndre Hopkins' life easier. Christian Kirk, his life easier. Maybe, you get some Rondell Moore in there, AJ Green. So we'll find out. Chase Edmonds did not get activated for this game, so it's a James Conner show once again. All that being said, I guess I think I stick with the Cardinals, man. I think it's going to be another impressive showing from them. I think that they're really going to, put their foot on the throat of the Rams in this one, and all their hopes of maybe making this a divisional. Making this division sweat a little bit is going to come to an end here. If I have to give you a score, give me 33-28. Give me 33-28. I like that. I like that a lot. Matt, how do you feel about this game? What do you think goes into it?
Well, I first think you made a lot of great points there on the Arizona Cardinals side of things. I did find the Jaylen Ramsey tweet. If you don't mind, I'm going to share the screen.
I'm interested here.
That the way how I said screen was terrible. It sounded like scream. This is what Jaylen Ramsey said 2 hours ago. He said, "I wish I could be out there tonight. This is some bullshit. I'm pissed off, but go Rams though, regardless. I feel fine /normal. And to whom it may concern, don't hit me up, please. So that is from yours truly, Jaylen Ramsey. And I know you may think I'm sounding a little crazy for this, but I'm going to stick with the Los Angeles Rams.
Hey,
I started with the Rams, before the Thursday games, and I'm going to stick by it. I think this is a game to where the Rams are going to show that they're going to try to prove the doubters wrong that they can't win against a competitive team. We've seen when the Rams play against competitive teams, they've seemed to falter most of the time. Besides the one victory against Tampa in week 3, any other playoff team they've played against, they've lost. They got embarrassed by the Tennessee Titans. They got embarrassed by the 49ers. And they got embarrassed by the Green Bay Packers. Here is another tough opponent that they have, the Arizona Cardinals. It's at Glendale at Arizona. I think this is going to be a game to where Stafford is going to prove that he was worth the trade. Because so far to this point during the season, you could look at it from the Rams' perspective and say, you know what? We could still be 8-4 even if we had Goff. Even if we had Jared Goff as a quarterback, we would still be 8-4 just because our defense is so great and our weapons are so good. The reason why you get Stafford is to win those close games, is to win those competitive games. And so far for the Rams, they haven't done that. Like I mentioned earlier, they played 4 competitive teams and they've only won once. And that was when Tampa had a bad game. And so you look at this is a game to where the Rams, and also for the Rams, the division's on the line tonight. If the Rams lose this game, the division's pretty much in the wraps for Arizona. Barring some major meltdown, the likes of which they pulled last year, if the Cardinals win this game on Monday, today, the NFC West is pretty much within their reach, within their grasp. But you also got to look at the Rams and think of the Niners are right behind you. The 49ers are 7-6, and you're only 8-4. And you got to play them possibly next week. You can't afford to lose this game because if you lose this, you fall to 8-5. And then if you somehow lose to the 49ers, you're 8-6. And also keep in mind, Kyle Shanahan's your owner. Shanahan has your number and reads Sean McVay like a book. I think there's a stats where they said the last 6 times that Shanahan has played McVay, he's beat him 5 of the last 6 times, or even 5 times beat him 4 of the last 5 times.
Which is very weird to me, especially because during that time, the 49ers are never healthy in the first place. So, like, the fact that they've won all those games when they probably weren't healthy in the first place, still very astonishing. But continue, Matt.
But yeah, I just personally believe that's the reason why I'm going with the Rams. I think the Rams are looking at this game and simply saying, hey, if we still want a chance at a home playoff game, we have to win this game tonight. Because if they can find a way to win this game, they go to 9-4, Arizona falls to 10-3, you're still right in the division race, and you still have a chance for a home playoff game. Because I'm telling you right now, if the Rams have to travel on the road, whether that's travel to Tampa or travel to Dallas, you look at Stafford's playoff record, it's not a promising one. And I'm pretty sure Sean McVay and company will rather have a home playoff game rather than traveling on the road to AT&T Stadium or to Raymond James. Now, granted, the Cowboys, they've been known to choke in the playoffs, but
they will.
You get to have home field. It's a different beast when you play at home compared to on the road. Unless if you're the GOAT Tom Brady, you could play anywhere and just win. But I'm going with the Rams. Like I've mentioned plenty of times, I think they're going to play this game out. Pretty much their season's on the line. If they want a home game, they have to win this one. And if they lose, you could pretty much kiss the division goodbye and just pray that you get the 5th seed.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with who it's more important for. I think it would be the Rams, probably if I had to pick one. But this is important for the Cardinals too. Like you said, the Packers are breathing down their neck for the 1st seed. The Bucs are breathing down their neck for the 1st seed. And we've seen it this year. A lot of teams are different on the road than at home this year. And I think we were all kind of forgot what it's like for teams to have to play on the road with fans in the building, because obviously last year there were no fans. And when there were fans, it was at a limited capacity, definitely not the same type of vibe. And we kind of got used to that for that one season. But you look at it now, I mean, you look at the Bucs. I believe they average like 35 points per game at home. On the road, it's down in the 20s. I believe the Cardinals average about 30 at home, on the road it's about 25 as well. So that number 1 seed is very important. Listen, we know that the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs at this point, unless something magical happens. I can't see them missing it, obviously. The Rams are probably going to make the playoffs, but that number 1 seed is much more important than people probably think. Obviously, you get the bye as well, so you can now rest up, because ever since they expanded the playoffs, we got to remember too that the 1 and 2 seeds don't get that bye. It's just the number 1 seed. So I'm excited to watch this game. Like I said, I think it would be more fun if everybody was at full strength, but hey, nobody's at full strength the minute that they put pads on in training camp. But with that said, we move on and we will go to our week 14 recap, people, because there were some fun games out there. But we'll start it off with what a lot of people thought would be the game of the week. And for a while, it did not look like it was going to be much, and then turned into what we all expected. So, Matt, why don't you just give me your thoughts initially on the Bucs versus Bills game, because I thought this was one hell of a game, and wasn't for the first half, but this is textbook definition story of two halves.
Man, for this Bills Bucks game, I feel like this was a game to where this is a heartbreaking loss for the Bills. I mean, you're down 24-3. You find a way to come back. You find a way to force overtime, and you lose off a heartbreaker like that. I mean, just the last 2 weeks from the Bills have been filled with heartbreaking losses. You got ran down your throats for 230 plus yards against the New England Patriots and lost 14-10. And then you go into this week against Tampa Bay, knowing that the division is pretty much on the line, because if you lose this game, which turns out they did, you are now 2 games back. And it looked dead early. Like you mentioned, Connie, they were down 24-3. You're down 21 points against Brady. I think there was a stat that they showed where Brady against the Bills went up by like 21 plus points. I think he's like 106-1.
Yeah,
just
something
absurd.
Bills too.
Like something absurd. Well, never mind. Not against the Bills, in his career. In his career, whenever he's up by at least 21 or more points.
No, but I think he had one loss in that. I think the one loss was to the Bills.
Yeah, possibly that. But then you come back, you force overtime, and then you kind of already knew the writing on the wall. You kind of knew when the Bucs had the ball in overtime, like, yeah, Brady's going to drive this down the field and he's going to win the game. And what happens? He throws a perfect pass to Rashad Perriman. Perriman runs it in, game-winning touchdown. And, I mean, you look at it's clear momentum swings from both sides. You look at Tampa, you win this game, you're 10-3, you're still in the running for the number 1 seed. And then on the flip side of things for the Buffalo Bills, you fall to 7-6. You're outside of the playoff picture. If you look at the playoff picture today, you don't see the Buffalo Bills. So now you look at you're outside of the playoffs, you're hanging on for your playoff lives, and then you got to play the Patriots again and Foxborough later on. I mean, it's going to be a tough hill to climb for the Buffalo Bills. And when you hear that Josh Allen is in a walking boot, I mean, it's panic time in Buffalo right now. It's like for Buffalo after this game, you have to hit the panic button, because you look at it's not a guaranteed spot that you make the playoffs now. Normally in the past, if you're 7-6, you barely hang on by a thread. You're like, okay, maybe we're the 6, maybe we're the 7 seed. But with how competitive the AFC is, 7-6, and you're outside of the playoff picture, and you also have to look at the Bills and just simply look at them and just say, is this team really a contender? And I don't think they are. I mean, I think what this game showed was the Bills, if they make the playoffs, I hate to say it, they're a one-and-done team. I don't think they're going to win the division. I think the Patriots have the AFC East. I think they're going to control that. I think in Foxborough in December, I think it's week 16 or week 17, if I'm not mistaken, Connie, when they play.
They play the Colts next week and then the Bills. So what is that?
Oh, so even worse for the Bills. Your next 2 weeks are basically against playoff teams. The Bills pretty much have to play like their season is on the line the next 2 weeks, because you got the Colts who are
the Patriots. That's my bad. The Patriots play the Colts and then the Bills. So whatever week what is that week? Yeah, is that week 16 then that they play the Bills again? Because it's week 14,
it might be. It might be. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, next week is 15,
16.
and then the week after would be 16. So yes.
Yeah, and then I mean that's just a game to where if you're the Bills, if you're the Bills, like you obviously started off slow, like you're down 24-3, regardless of how you win, you just have to look at that and just say, look, that's unacceptable. You can't be down. You can't be down, 24-3 at any point in the game. And even if you do find a way to come back and win, it's a huge statement win. But just for the Bills as a whole, and then you look at just in the division itself, like the Dolphins are red hot right behind your tail. Like it's right there. And I just found the rest of their schedule. So they got the Panthers next. They got the Panthers week 15, the Patriots week 16, and the Falcons week 17. And then let me pull up their last. And then their last game that they play
should be against the Jets, right?
Is against the Jets. So
yeah.
I mean, you look at these next three games for the Bills, surprisingly, are against playoff teams. Like the Panthers and the Falcons, they're just outside of the NFC playoff picture. They got an opportunity to get in. And then you got your division rival in the Pats. So you're looking for the Bills. What kind of team are you going to be? That has to be the motto the final 4 weeks of the season. Are you going to be the same old Bills who flop year in and year out? Or are you going to be the Buffalo Bills team that made the AFC Championship game last year? Because I'm telling you right now, if they're the Bills team of last year, they're going to go on a hot streak and find a way to pull out the division. But if they don't, then they're going to flop, might not even make the playoffs. And even if they do, I will still stand by the fact that if they do make the playoffs, they are one and done, whether they're a 5th seed, a 6th seed, or a 7th seed. Because, I mean, I look at it, if they got to play against the winner of the AFC North, I would much rather trust them than the Bills. Maybe. But I'll tell you right now, if they have to play Tennessee in the playoffs, you best believe I'm believing in Tennessee more than the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, because I look at the Tennessee Titans. If the Tennessee Titans can find a way to get a 1 seed, you best believe Derrick Henry is coming. You best believe if the Titans got a chance, King Henry is going to suit up in the playoffs, even if it's just a limited amount of touches. Just his presence alone is what's going to be the difference maker for the Bills. And, I'm just not sold on them. I gave them ample opportunities, and that's my cat in the background doing this thing. It's like the Bills. It's like the Bills. There's a black cat. There's something going on with the Buffalo Bills because last year they were one of the teams that beat in the AFC. And this year, you see them have embarrassing losses. They got embarrassed by the Jags. They got embarrassed by the Pats. How do you allow 200-plus rushing yards against the Patriots? It's unacceptable. So the Bills got to change Week 15 against the Panthers. And I'm telling you right now, if they lose to the Panthers Week 15, their season's finished. Their season's finished. If you lose to the Panthers next Sunday, granted, Josh will be thrilled, but just from the Bills side of things, you're finished, especially with how tight the AFC playoff race is. One loss like that, and you're done. That's just my overall thoughts. And then obviously for the Bucs side of things, just Brady doing Brady-like things. He's a GOAT. And they're still in the running for the top seed, and you still can't doubt the Bucs. The Bucs are the defending champs, and they have a really good chance to possibly go back-to-back if the cards fall in their right ways.
Yeah, it's hard. Like the Bills, I think the Bills are a good team. I think they can beat a lot of teams as well, but they just have that fatal flaw, and it's the fact that they're not as physical probably as you would really like them to be, which is, like I've said this before, which is kind of surprising. You think of the Bills fans, slamming each other through tables. You would think that their team is physical as well, but that's kind of their flaw, and it's the fact that they do two things that you really can't do, when it gets late into the season, and that would be not being able to run the ball and also not being able to stop the run. Like you said, they had, the Patriots had over 220 yards rushing. Leonard Fournette, I believe, had over 100 yards rushing. He had that 47-yard touchdown. I believe that's how long it was in this game. But here's my other thing too, because you imagine where they would be without Josh Allen. I mean, he is their running game. They can't do anything with their actual running backs. I believe in the first half, they didn't even have a run play that was designed for a running back, which obviously says something for them. But I think it all depends on the matchup, because right now I'm looking at the playoff picture, right? And the Bills are the 7th seed. So they are technically in the playoffs right now.
Oh, okay. But they're barely on the
fringe.
No.
Though. They are absolutely, yeah. The Browns are right there. The Bengals are right there. The Broncos are right there. They're all 7-6 as well. So with that being said, Patriots are the one. Let's just end the playoffs right here, right? We'll end the season right here. And right now the Patriots would be the 1 seed, Titans 2, Chiefs 3, Ravens 4, Chargers 5, Colts 6, and the Bills 7. If the season ended right now and the Titans had to play the Bills, I think the Bills would win. I do. And I know that, you kind of disagree with that a little bit, but listen, unless you have a fully healthy Derrick Henry, I don't believe in them, especially because I think that just puts more pressure on Ryan Tannehill, and we just saw him throw, 4 interceptions against the Jags not too long ago. So I don't really have the faith, in Ryan Tannehill. He didn't really do much against the game against the Patriots as well. So I don't have faith in the Titans, and it's difficult anyway because I don't have faith in a lot of teams in the NFL right now, if I'm being honest. Listen, it might sound homerish. I have faith in the Patriots. I know what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play off play action. They're going to make sure Mac Jones doesn't make mistakes, and they're going to play damn good defense. I have faith in them. I don't have faith in the Titans. I know that their defense has been solid recently, but I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill in a big spot that he's going to be able to get me a win. And without Derrick Henry, I don't believe in their run game as much. I'm gaining faith in the Chiefs. I know that after last week, everybody's going to say, oh, well, look what they did to the Raiders and this, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They did that to the Raiders They did that to the Raiders 2 weeks ago, and then they went and played the Broncos and put up like 19 points. So is it the fact that they're back, or is it the fact that they got to play the Raiders again? Because I believe they outscored them by 33 points 66 points this season or something like that, which is the highest margin ever in the Chiefs-Raider rivalry. So obviously there was something in the water this year, and the Raiders probably didn't help it by having a team meeting on the logo. Great move, by the way. Number 4 is the Ravens. I don't have faith in the Ravens. First of all, they're incredibly injured. I mean, every week it seems like another big player is going down. Obviously, we know that Marcus Peters, beginning of the year, he's out. I believe they're on number 5 running back at the moment right now. Now, especially with Lamar gone. I mean, he hurt his ankle. He obviously didn't return that game. What's his name? Huntley? Is that?
Yeah, I call him the broke man's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, that's what he is. That's like the Kmart. We got Lamar Jackson at a home version. And listen, if they have, even with Lamar, honestly, I don't have faith in them because teams have kind of figured out Lamar as well, that they're just blitzing the absolute hell out of the Ravens, and he doesn't really know what to do in those situations, and it also takes away from him being able to scramble. I kind of have faith in the Chargers. It might be a little biased here as well because I picked them to make the playoffs and I want to be right, but I just think Justin Herbert's really good. I think Justin Herbert's going to be an MVP probably within the next 3 years. He made a big, he's the first player in NFL history to have 30 plus touchdowns in his first 2 seasons. So he threw for 31 last year. I think he already has 30 this year. 31 last year was the rookie record. He already has 30 this year. So he's obviously going to throw for more as well.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Connie. I just looked at the rest of the Baltimore Ravens schedule. You ready to hear what their final 4 games are?
Yeah, let me hear it.
They're 8-5. They're
Matt, what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna play the ever famous and fun win-loss, win game.
Well, here is the Baltimore Ravens schedule, and I'll even share the screen for the viewers to see, and just for the people as well if they want to give in their input as well. So the Ravens week 15, they're 8-5 and still in first in the AFC North. But hold on. Let me flip screens here. 1 second.
Click on schedule there.
Yeah, I hit the wrong one.
Listen, Matt. Everybody makes mistakes. I heard Hannah Montana said it best. We got some people in the color cast. Ethan, what's going on, my brother? Michael, how we doing? Perry, thank you for stopping by as always. Andrew with the Let's Go card. So hey, shout out to the people on the color cast. Like I said, everybody, make sure you check us out on color cast as well. But Matt, we're looking at the schedule right now. Week 15 against the Packers. That's a big old L.
Oh yeah, that's a fat L right there. And then week 16 you got to play the Cincinnati Bengals on the road, which you got embarrassed 41-16 to earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think I would go with the Bengals in this game as well. So that's 2 losses. The Rams, week 17, I'm going with another loss. Week 18, they round out the season with the Steelers. I would go with the win.
Ooh, you think Big Ben will let it slide? Could you imagine this, Connie?
But it's home, isn't it?
Ben Roethlisberger, week 18, final game of his career, possible chance at the playoffs on the line, and Big Ben goes into the Ravens home stadium and just dashes their playoff hopes. Could you imagine how crazy that would be? How big of a Ravens pack you would smoke if Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben came into Baltimore and just shattered on Lamar Jackson, and you would just sit back and just say, "Hey, I told you the running back hit his peak. I did
say that Lamar hit his peak." And by the way, each week I look better and better.
That?
Each week I look better and better. I'm just saying, throwing it out there, people.
And even looking at Lamar's status, his status for week 15 is still questionable. Now, I think he's going to play just because the Ravens are looking at their rest of their 4-game schedule that we just saw, and they're probably thinking, "Oh shit, we got 4 playoff teams. We got the Green Bay Packers who are battling for the 1 seed. We got our division rivals on the Bengals. We got the Rams who are also battling for the NFC West. And then we got our ever rival Pittsburgh Steelers." Like, these next 4 games, that right there is a real definition of make or break for the Baltimore Ravens. Those next 4 games, depending on how they do, depending on Lamar Jackson's status, that's really going to shape up how the Ravens look, because they're either going to be, at worst, they're either going to be 8-9 and miss the playoffs, or they're just going to be in the middle and be 10-7 and maybe just barely sneak in the playoffs as either a fluke division winner or just a fluke playoff spot. There's no in between. And I will say, Connie, I'm with you 100% on the Ravens. They're a one-and-done playoff team. Ravens aren't going anywhere. Even if they win the division, they're going to get embarrassed at home. I'm not sold on them. To be quite frank with you, I might take your guy Winston-Annapolis and the Indianapolis Colts over the Baltimore Ravens.
That's another team that I have faith in too. I got faith in the Colts because they have Jonathan Taylor and the best offensive line in football. And listen, that's not even because of the Winston-Annapolis. Listen, I know Wentz VP, Winston-Annapolis,
one day it'll hit, Anthony. One day, Wentz VP is going to hit one day.
I deserve something. I absolutely deserve.
You deserve to make a
Carson
T-shirt.
Got to send me a jersey. Maybe a MVP replica or something like that. I need something because I've been on the Wentz wagon for a while.
You need to get your boy Trey Wingo to talk to Carson Wentz and say, "Hey, this guy Anthony Conover, he's been on the Wentz VP train the last 2 years. If you win MVP next year, you got to get him a signed jersey."
I could hit up my boy Wingo, something light. We got something in the color cast though. Michael says Steph break the record tonight, needs 10 threes. Listen, we might be talking about football, but we do everything around here, people. Michael,
that's right.
I think Steph breaks the record tonight. I don't know why, because I think he's just going to try and go crazy. I mean, he's been kind of trying to go crazy the last few games, and I think the pressure is getting to him a little bit because he hasn't been shooting very well. Michael, I can see the record falling tonight. Will I be watching it? No, but I'll watch the replay. I'll be watching the Monday Night Football game, of course. Football runs America. That's how we make the world go around over here. But I think
differently. I don't think he will. I think he'll get. I just because it's on the road, I don't think he'll break it. I think it's gonna be one of those to where it's gonna be at the Chase Center. I think he's gonna find a way to break it at home.
I would like that too. I don't know. I always like when records get broke at home than on the road.
And currently right now he's 0 of 2 from 3.
Oh, they are playing right now. I didn't even.
Yeah,
know
they're
this.
currently playing. They're currently playing at the moment, and he shot 2 threes and he's missed both.
Okay. Well, you know what, Steph? Get it together because you're going to make me look dumb. CJ pulling up as always. What's going on there, brother? Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it. We'll find out. Steph, you know what? Start hitting some threes. I'm not trying to look bad over here. But, man, I don't even know where we were. I forgot what we were talking about, but that's okay.
We were both saying how the Ravens are finito, and then you went on your Winston-Annapolis. And then I was saying you should hit up your boy Trey Wingo and to hook you up if Wentz wins an MVP.
Man, I honestly think the way. All right, I'm gonna give you my prediction. Right, this is how, in my eyes, the playoff picture is gonna end. I think the Patriots are gonna get the 1 seed because I think they're gonna just sell out to stop Jonathan Taylor against the Colts. Are gonna make Wentz do something. J.C. Jackson's gonna get an interception. I'm calling that already.
If there's any money, I heard you were sponsored by a certain app. I'm not sure what app it is, but like
something light. If you go over to Underdog Fantasy and you use code Gen Z, you can double your first deposit up to $100. So you put 100 in, you get an extra 100. That's 200 beans right there. 200 slices of bread right there. Rye, wheat, American. A little cinnamon raisin bread. So I'm just saying, maybe a nice little Italian loaf. So go over, check out a little bit of the gabagool. You can put together some pick'ems. You can do the rivals. You can do a nice little draft here or there. I know plenty of people winning some buckaroos over there on Underdog Fantasy. So if you haven't downloaded it and used code Gen Z yet, well, first of all, you're making a big mistake, but it's okay. I forgive you as long as you do it right now, everybody. Underdog Fantasy, code Gen Z, available basically everywhere. So go and do that. But like I said, I think the Patriots. Listen, if I have to predict the playoff picture right now, I think it'll be Patriots 1. Chiefs are going to end up going to the 2. The Titans will slide down to 3. I think the Browns
that AFC North is tough.
I think the Browns are going to end up winning the AFC North. I do. So I'll have them as the 4 seed. I think the Colts are going to slide up to 5. I think the Chargers slide to 6. I think I think the Bills slide to 6. Chargers will get to 7. That's how I would predict the playoffs in the AFC. And the NFC, honestly, I think it stays pretty much exactly the same. I think it's going to be Cardinals, Packers. That can obviously switch depending on if the Cardinals slip up because obviously the Packers have the tiebreaker. So I'll make Matt happy. I'll go with the Packers 1 seed. I think the Cardinals will be the 2. Bucks could be the 3, which is crazy because they're probably going to be a 13-win team. I think the Cowboys are going to end up being the 4. Rams will stay the 5. You know what? Give me the 6 being the 49ers. I think they'll stay hot. And then number 7, man, is that going to be up in the air? But I actually, you know what? If Heineke's hurt, I don't have faith. Let's just to make everybody in Philly annoyed because they don't like him. I want the Eagles to get that last seed so bad, and I want Jalen Hurts to lead them there. God, is that going to be fantastic? Cards 1 seed if they win tonight, says Perry. Yes, sir. But if they slip up, Packers got that tiebreaker. So
I'll tell you right now, the final 4 games for the Green Bay Packers is Ravens, Browns on Christmas Day, Vikings, and Lions. Those are our final four games for the Packers. And I kind of agree with you on the standings. The only thing I would change, I do got the Patriots at 1. I do believe Kansas City is going to one up the Chiefs. Yeah, great words, Matt. I do believe the Chiefs are going to one up the Titans. And I don't know what it is. I'm gonna be bold when I say this. This is probably gonna be the biggest hot take of the year.
Okay.
Give me Big Ben and the Steelers to win the AFC North. Just give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. To hell with it. Give me the Steelers to win the AFC North. And I will say, if it does happen,
win the whole North,
to win the whole AFC North, and hey, if it happens, you heard it here first, December 13th, 2021. If it happens, and just look at the schedule, Connie. The Browns are 7-6. The Ravens are 8-5. The Bengals are 7-6. The Steelers are right there at 6-1. They're right there. And I don't know what it is. I think Big Ben is going to find some random magic he's going to pull out of his ass. I trust the Steelers. I'm not sold on the Bengals, as you can tell from last game. George Kittle just was cooking.
George Kittle's an animal, by the way. I don't care what anybody says. He's the best tight end in football. I will fight. I will die on that hill 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and then I'll also say I agree with you. Like, I will say I was a Chargers skepticist at first because I'm just like, it's the same old Chargers. They're going to find a way to lose. But just the statement wins they've had this year, I think the Chargers find a way to get in. I think your boy Winston-Annapolis gets the job done. I trust Winston-Annapolis more, and I honestly believe in the Bills. Like, if I had to choose between the Browns and the Bills, I'm
I think
going
you
Buffalo.
choose the Bills because of their remaining schedule. Like, bro, they play the Jets, Falcons, Panthers, and what, the Jags?
Yeah,
no, they played the Jags already.
And then you look at their final 4 games. They play the Panthers,
Win,
Patriots, the
loss,
Falcons,
win,
and then the Jets.
win.
So it's like right there. They could easily go 3-1, easily finish 10-7. And I just look at the rest of the teams, and I'm just not as sold. Like, I truly believe I'm not sold on the Ravens. Their final 4-game stretch is a stretch of hell. Like, you got to play the Packers, the Bengals, and then you got to play the Rams and the Steelers. Like, I'm sorry, this is going to be a typical meltdown Ravens fashion. Like, I truly believe that's what's going to go down. And then you just look at it, because what I believe is going to happen, you're still going to have your top 3. Then you're going to have the Steelers at the 4. You're going to have Chargers at 5. I think you're going to have Colts at 6. And I think the hot take, I think the Bills will get in and not the Ravens. I'm not sold on the Ravens being even a playoff team. I think
if they don't have Lamar, there's a 0% chance. And honestly,
I think even with Lamar,
yeah,
even with Lamar, their injuries have just been too much, which I honestly think is a baloney excuse, because the Packers didn't have our top 3 receivers, didn't have Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith, or starting center or starting tackle, and we still found a way to beat Arizona. But hey, that's just me. That's just me being me. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But all I know is if the Ravens miss the playoffs, your boy Anthony Conover, who's to my left, is going to have a field day in the Unwrapped Football chat. You're going to see a lot of puffing emojis in the chat saying, smoking on that Lamar pack, the running back is peaked.
It's possible, Me, I'm never one to, hang on the rim or anything like that. I don't know why you would ever even – I don't know how you could even say that about me, man. I mean, I could never.
I don't know, man. I mean, hey, sometimes all I know is life is good for Connie when the Patriots win, when the Yankees win, and let's see, when LeBron and the Lakers lose.
That's fun too.
Let's see. We also got when Lamar Jackson peaks.
That's a good one.
What else we got?
Cam plays bad. That's a good one as well.
Oh, when Cam plays bad. I mean, you look at I was so looking forward to Josh coming on this week, because I was going to throw in some Cam hate. I was so ready for it. I was so ready to throw in the Cam is back, throwing the I'm back, being benched twice, not once, but twice.
It's a tough life out here. It's a tough life out here. But all right, we'll move on. And Matt, we're actually going to go to, listen, people, was it the most interesting game? No, but we cater to our people. So, me and Josh always get to talk about the Pats and the Panthers. So Matt's here. We're going to talk about the Packers. And Matt, here's my thing. I don't have much to say about it because I'm sure you will. And listen, the Packers played the Bears. The Packers beat the Bears. Is anybody surprised? Like, is there really an in-depth analysis I have to go into? Like, listen, I mean, it's kind of like the sun coming up. When that doesn't happen, we're all going to die anyway. And that's probably what's going to happen when Aaron Rodgers loses to the Packers. Like, something obviously went catastrophically wrong for that to happen. Now, the only thing I will say is you have to be good in all 3 phases of football, especially in the playoffs, because, one thing goes wrong, that's a turning point in the game. Obviously, we saw it, last year, Matt, you remember Mr. Little old Scotty Miller getting behind Kevin King for that touchdown. That changes a lot of things.
Yep, sure did.
Listen, even the Giants, when they played the Packers after the boat game, that Hail Mary at the end of the half, that changes a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be good in all 3 phases. And last night, the Packers were definitely not good in the phase of special teams. They allowed that 97-yard punt return, which is also the first punt return of the NFL season. There were a couple kickoffs where I thought that Khalil Herbert was going to end up taking him back for a touchdown. So a little iffy on the special teams. Obviously got to clean that up. But the defense, right, Matt, they're still not at full strength, right?
No, we're still not at full strength. We're still missing Jair Alexander, and we're still missing Zadarius Smith.
All right, exactly. So you're still missing 2 people over there. So I think the defense is
and they're both all pros. They're not just scrubs. They're all pros.
Exactly. They're not, your 3rd string corner by any means. These are all pros. So I think the defense is going to be A1. Your offense has Aaron Rodgers And as long as Aaron Rodgers is playing, he's going to be good. Devontae Adams is probably – listen, Matt, I know you think he's the best, but this man Cooper Kupp out here trying to prove something this year. So I got Cooper Kupp the number 1 wide receiver this year. Devontae Adams, 1B. I'm not even going to call
I don't know, man.
2.
10 catches, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns says otherwise. I don't know.
But
Up there. It's up there.
Cooper Kupp got 100 catches, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. This man is on.
He might break Michael Thomas's record for most receptions in the season.
Listen, Matt. In all honesty, remember that league I made you join with me and my friends were in the on Sleeper, the Dynasty League?
Yeah, the Dave's Dynasty League. I'm upset.
I am in the conference. Well, not conference. The semifinals right now. I'm in the semifinals because we do 2 weeks per playoff.
Yeah, it's outrageous, Connie. I lost in the first round because the guy I went up against, I think it was Crafts Masseuse, had friggin' Austin Eckler, and of course it was the weeks he went off against the Steelers, and then the next week afterwards. It's a tough life out here.
In all honesty, I need Cooper Kupp to go crazy tonight. I have only him remaining. I'm down 29 points, which, by the way, people, 29 points sounds like a lot, but it
is light work in Connie's league. It's light work.
Yeah, my friend's league is absolutely nothing. Like Dalvin Cook put up 58 points for me this week, so that basically saved me. I'm down 29 points with only Cooper Kupp left. His worst game of the season was against the Cardinals. Every other game he scored like 25 plus. So I need a big game out of Cooper tonight.
We need support. We need support for Cooper Kupp. I will say I do got a chance to finish 5th though. So I'm striving for 5th. You're striving for championships.
I'm striving. Not only am I striving for a championship, Matt, I'm striving to be like Drake and go back to back.
No kidding. You won all last year too?
I won last year. Listen, my roster is unbelievable. I was kind of ahead of the curve on a few people. Like I drafted Josh Allen.
You know what? I got here, but I'll let you finish. But I got an announcement to make after you're finished.
Okay. I was ahead of the curve. I drafted Josh Allen. I picked up AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones. I got Darrell Henderson. Last year, even though he really wasn't anybody. Obviously, this year with the injury, he comes up big. I drafted Cooper Kupp ahead of the curve last year, so I got lucky. I got lucky in a lot of ways, but I got a super team right now. And you know what the most annoying part about this is too, though? Me and my friend that are in the semifinals right now have both scored over 400 points in these 2 weeks. And the other 2 people that are playing each other haven't even cracked like 300. Haven't even cracked 400 yet. I don't even know if they're going to get it. I think their game is supposed to be like 350 to something. So, of course, me and my friend are playing each other in this sleeper league when me and him are the 2 highest scoring people in the semifinal. So one of us has to lose. Unfair. You know what? I might call for a protest. I might protest the final results of the game if either one of us lose.
No, you need a protest to have your boy get rid of divisions. It's outrageous. I was 7-3 behind your ass for first. I would have been in first in the other division, but because I was behind you, and we literally have the same exact record, but because you decided to give 161 more points than me, I had to be in second place. Fully outrageous. But the one announcement I want to say is, Terry McLaurin, where the hell you at? How you give me 0 points? 0.00. Connie, you were all on the scary Terry.
I am.
Explain where is he? Granted, the QB situation in Washington's dog water, but come on. 4 targets, no catches. Are you kidding me? We're talking Terry McLaurin cost fantasy people playoff spots.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. This is a true statement.
This is outrageous. Shout out George Kittle for giving me almost 58 points. George Kittle McGriddle. He was cooking.
No, you know what, Matt? I'm not. Listen, here's my thing. I know it's not as bad as yours, of course, because what'd you say? He got you 0, but Tyreek Hill
got me 0.
Tyreek Hill, where the hell are you? Back-to-back weeks, you couldn't even give me 20 points. How do the Chiefs put up 48 and Tyreek Hill only got me 19 fantasy points in that league? 19 fantasy points in that league is basically like one goddamn catch. And Tyreek Hill couldn't get me over 20 points. That's one of the reasons I'm struggling so bad over here. And the fact that I even have a chance is unbelievable because I started Darrell Henderson last week when, they say that he's a healthy, he's all good to play. Got me 0 points because he didn't actually play. Somebody else did absolutely nothing in that league for me last week as well.
I also want to say I want to throw out a moment of silence to you for the unwrapped redraft. You had no shot. I feel so bad for you. I looked at your bench. Everybody was on a bye week. Perry tried to flame you, saying you threw it out there, but what's he supposed to do? He got nobody on the bench, and the waiver wire is dry.
Yeah, Perry, listen, this man Perry, and he's listening on the Colorcast right now, so I'm not even talking about his back.
No, I will say, you set yourself up for failure with 2 straight L's beforehand, but
of course I set myself up for failure.
Everybody's on a
Perry's talking out his ass, saying that I didn't set my lineup up. Listen, it's a league with you freaks in it. So, the 18th string running back is always, on somebody's roster for no goddamn reason.
I mean, unless if you got lucky with Rashad Penny and Jakeem Grant, but nobody's going to trust Rashad Penny or Jakeem Grant.
Exactly. All my players are on buys, that's just bad luck. So I had no chance
and even a dude named Eno Benjamin. He's a running back for the Arizona Cardinals. Who you gonna trust? Eno Benjamin?
Matt, you want to hear the craziest thing of all sleeper though? You want to hear the craziest thing right now? So I am currently winning 132.92 to 131.02 up against this man. And I have a chance at the playoffs. I basically have to win this week. I need somebody else to lose or whatever, blah, 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 to have a chance, right? Mm-hmm. I forgot to set my lineup in this league too. So my fault,
Wait, are you talking about the league that I'm in? Like the one I
who's
created?
On the clock?
Are you talking about the Ultimate Fantasy Football League? That one? Or is it a different one?
No. This is a different one on Sleeper. Who's on the clock? I don't think you're in this one. I forgot to set my lineup in this league too, though.
Oh no!
And I forgot to take Keenan Allen out, who's missed the game because of COVID, everything like that. Blah blah blah. This man had one player left, Matt. One player left, and I obviously I'm going to lose because I'm only up by 1 point. Matt, who was the player?
I bet he's good Stafford.
No, he has Tyler Higbee, who is now
ruled out.
And he is now ruled out for COVID, is going to miss the game, and there is nobody on the waiver wire to pick up to replace him. So it looks like I'm gonna sneak out of here.
Yo, that's that happened to me in my fantasy league that I created. I'm playing against your backstop banner co-host Michael Lawson. I was dead in the water, right? Now keep in mind, this team, I don't know how I was about to lose. I had Rodgers, gave me 28 points. I had Javonte Williams, gave me 21. The Corvette twin Chase Claypool gave me 17. I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, gave me 19. Jarvis Landry gave me 15. Rashad Bateman did his thing, got me 17. Taysom Hill gave me 24.
Okay.
You want to hear my guys who gave me duds?
I do. Let's hear it.
So I decided to go Foster Moreau because keep in mind, I did have Pat Fryermuth on my bench, but TJ Hawkinson wasn't ruled out on Thursday. So I was like, okay. TJ got a chance. Basically, Moreau laid a dud, gave me only 4.3 points.
A tragedy.
I also had Scary Terry, dud. I mean, we're talking dirt dud, 0.00. And then Nick Chubb laid a dud. Didn't even give me 10 points. Got me 9.50. And I was about to lose. But because Michael Lawson had Tyler Higbee, I sneak away with a W and finish 8-6 and keep my playoff spot as a 5th seed. I'm in 9 fantasy leagues, Connie, and I could make the playoffs in 7 of them.
I'm in way too many fantasy leagues. So
more than 9?
Absolutely. I think I'm on 9 I think I'm in 9 fantasy leagues on ESPN alone.
What? Yo, we got
I'll tell you right now. Ready? I'll tell you right now.
We got Anthony Kuiper here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on ESPN, and then Sleeper I am in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
My God, that's 17.
Yeah, I have a fantasy problem. It's very fun.
There
But here's the
there
thing. I
need-
joined
there
a
needs to
lot of
be there needs to
fantasy
be a
leagues.
hotline. There needs to be a hotline for fantasy football
No.
hotlines.
So here's
If
the
you
thing,
reach a
right?
threshold of at least 15, you got to call this hotline.
I join a lot of random fantasy leagues, like not for money or for anything, just because I like. Because here's the thing, I don't know why, but I hate mock drafts because they annoy me. But I love drafting teams, so I'll join a random league just to draft a team instead of like doing a mock draft like a normal person would. So I just join a random league and draft a team because I find it very exhilarating. It's like, oh my gosh, am I going to get this player?
Are you at least winning in the leagues that are important to you? Besides the redraft, the unwrapped redraft,
honestly,
are you winning in the other
I would
ones?
love to tell you yes, but my most expensive league that I won last year for $500, I'm going to miss the playoffs probably.
Wait, which one?
No, you're not in it. It's with like all my hometown friends.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, you want $500?
I won 500 last year, but this year, I just had some bad luck. Like going into the year, Matt. Listen to this team, and you tell me that you would think this team is going to finish 7-7 and miss the playoffs. I had Dak, who a good fantasy quarterback. I drafted McCaffrey, who's been hurt all year. Yep. Darrell Henderson, mid. I had DK, who apparently Russell Wilson just does not like.
Is the buff version of Juju Smith-Schuster.
Mike Evans, he's been solid this year, of course. Darren Waller, he's been honestly mid. Like he's been kind of mid. Like he's had some good weeks, but he's had a lot of duds and he's been out a couple games. And then I drafted Allen Robinson, biggest bust of the year. And then we have a defense and a kicker as well, but that's just whatever. But yeah, that team is going to end up going 7-7. I had a chance to make the playoffs still up until the last week, but I needed somebody to lose and I needed to win, and they beat the absolute.
No, you want to talk about bad luck team, Connie. I think I might have you beat. This team is 5-8, and I have no idea how. You ready to hear what this team consists of?
Yeah, let me get it.
You got Lamar Jackson at quarterback.
Okay.
Terry McLaurin.
Yup.
Brandon Cooks.
Okay, solid.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
TJ Hawkinson when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr., which I realized that was a mistake, but he went off to the Rams. And then on the bench, there's Devin Singletary, Rashad Bateman.
Dud.
And then basically Baker Mayfield, which is pretty much duds. And then this league also has kickers and defense. My kickers were Greg the terrible leg, and then Daniel Carlson, and then Tennessee defense, Bengals defense. And somehow this team is 5-8. I don't know how that starting lineup is only 5-8.
Yeah, I had to listen. This is this just proves fantasy's up and down because listen, last year I was probably in the same amount of leagues, and I think I made the playoffs in all of them but like 3. And this year, I think I'm going to miss the playoffs in almost all of them. Like it's been a rough year for the kid in fantasy, but you know what? That's why we play. We bounce back next year. Listen, Matt, I'm that team that I was talking about that I'm going to win by 1 point. Listen, I'm proud because that's my rebuilding team. This team is not good. I have Jimmy G, Matt Breida, Leonard Fournette, Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, Cole Beasley, Tyler Lockett, Bateman, and then Zach Wilson because super flex league. But Matt, that's the whole team. So I should not even be 6-7. As we got Josh pulling up, said Connie fired me. Sorry guys. You know what? The cat is out of the bag. I just don't like Josh anymore, guys.
No, you know what? I want to say, Perry, you need to thank me in the Dynasty League because I played spoiler. I decided to beat the ever-loving crap out of Ethan for fantasy this week. I am currently beating him 141.04 to 94.14. And the only player I have left is Sony Michel. And in that league, I want to shout out porn star Jimmy Garoppolo for somewhat doing good against the Bengals. Shout out Aaron Jones. Shout out Chris Godwin for doing his thing. The Mapletron and Chase Claypool. Shout out Mark Andrews. Did his thing.
I still can't believe Claypool really did that.
I still can't believe Chase Claypool did that either.
How do you not? He has to be benched next week. Like if I'm Mike Tomlin, there is not a chance in hell that he sees the field next week. You literally cost him
Mhm.
5-8 seconds on that. I don't understand. You know who was not good? My Jets with only 3 field goals. Listen,
Yeah, and then
Logan.
you want to talk about definition of a running back? That's Taysom Hill. Like you talk
No,
about,
literally. Logan,
like he's
you
what
signed up
he's
for
what
this.
he's what
Come on,
Lamar
bro.
tries to be.
Logan, you know you signed up for this. You can't be expecting much.
Yeah,
But
I
Matt,
also
I gotta tell you though. Remember that team I just told you though? That's my rebuilding team. Because you want to hear how many draft picks I have in this draft?
let me guess 10.
Let me give you the rundown. I
All
have
right.
3 first-round picks.
Okay, how they looking?
Mine's
Any top 10s?
I think they're all going to be middle. I think they're all going to be, towards the end of the first round or middle, but that's fine. Still 3 first rounders. That's a lot of trade capital as well.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm not done there, Matt. I also have 2 second-round picks. I also have 4 third-round picks. And I also have 3 third-round picks or fourth-round picks.
That's a lot right there. That's some good capital. I also want to shout out Hunter Renfrow for giving me 13 catches. Give me 13 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Keep in mind, Connie, Ethan had Dalvin Cook, and I still found a way to win. Granted, he's got Matthew Stafford and AJ Green. Barring some sort of miracle by Matthew Stafford, I have a good chance to win and play spoiler. And I want this known. If Perry or whoever is ahead of him, low-key Measy, wins the Dynasty League, I want a portion. I want some restitution for setting you guys up for success and getting you guys the first round bye. I want just a little bit. Just a little bit. Maybe like $4 or $5, but just a little bit because I helped you guys out with success.
I need you to listen. If I play spoiler, I need you to at least cover my entry fee into the league.
Yes, exactly. Cover the
I need my entry fee covered. I'm just saying. Matt, we should probably get back to what we were actually supposed to talk about. You know what I mean? Listen, Josh, this is a great idea too, by the way, Josh. Like I said earlier in the show, if you haven't used code Gen Z on Underdog Fantasy yet, you're missing out. Matt, I hope you have, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there, people. Use code Gen Z and you double your first deposit. What's wrong with a little extra money out here? But Josh, you're right. Great idea. But listen, we're gonna take our little break in the show here. Because listen, we kind of covered a lot of things that we were supposed to cover in like actual order, but by the way that we just randomly bring things up, we've kind of covered it. Patriots or Chiefs to favorite to win the AFC. I think what are we going with? Patriots here? I think so. What are the Chargers? We kind of agree on that they're up and down team, but we think that they're going to make the playoffs and might make a little noise in there. But so with that, we go to our little break in the show, which is a new little thing that me and Josh have started here.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Season starting to look like Bill versus Brady.
The season's starting to look like. Listen, bro. I am.
If that's a Super Bowl, that's literally going to be the most watched Super Bowl, and there's going to be
the
at least
current
100
record
million.
right now is 122 million for the Super Bowl. That Patriot Bucks Super Bowl is getting at least 150. Can you imagine all the promo Bill versus Brady?
That's going to end the debate. Whoever wins this game will literally end the debate.
See, but can you end? See. Like,
because if Bill wins, he has 7, and Brady has 7. But if Brady wins and gets 8, that just further solidifies it because then that's back-to-back years. He left Bill, and then he won 2 more.
Here's my thing, though. Ready? So I know it was the regular season, but technically Brady beat Bill already. So technically it's 1-0. If Bill was to beat Brady, it's 1-1. Now, yes, that 1 is the Super Bowl. So it's a little bit more important, obviously. But still, the people are going to hang on to that. If Bill loses, then it's Brady did this, but then you also got to look at it. Bill was trying to beat the greatest quarterback of all time with the rookie quarterback, and also. Listen, it ain't just Brady out there. Can we remember that, Gronk, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin,
playoff Lenny.
Yeah, playoff Lenny.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Vita Vea. Shaq Barrett. So, listen, it's not like
the last legs of Richard Sherman.
It's not like the Bucks are, the little sisters of the poor out there. They kind of got a squad.
They got some Hall of Famers.
Yeah. So we'll be, it'll still be a debate in my eyes, but hey, I would love a Patriot Bucks Super Bowl. I think
I wouldn't. I want it. I want
that game would be bigger than the
Green Bay.
Daytona 500 World Cup and Olympics combined.
Oh, dude,
In America,
World Cup gets like 1 billion views. There's
well,
no
I was
way
gonna
it's
say
going to
in
top 1 billion.
America, I would agree because I don't think do we really care about the World Cup that much?
I do a little bit. I remember watching.
I only
watch
the
World Cup
if it's the final, and I'll watch like the last 10 minutes, maybe. I hate soccer though, so you're asking the wrong guy. And the Olympics, I kind of liked when I was younger. Now they don't do anything for me. I don't know why. I don't care.
Did you know I learned this fun fact? This is the first time to where the Winter Olympics will run at the same time as the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl is February 13th. And right after the Super Bowl, it'll transition straight into the Winter Olympics. Straight into it. It's the first time like something like that has happened in almost like 40 or so years. So, bam, fun fact.
It's fun. Team Germany.
Now let's get into the topic that you were saying before I interrupted with.
Listen,
Brady.
Everything's an interruption on this show, honestly. So we take our little break, right? And here's our little subject for the day. Frank Gore and Darren Williams are getting into a little boxing match. Now, listen, we could go into the analysis of who we think is going to win, but nobody actually knows. So, Matt, the question is, which two? Hold on, let me word this right. Athletes would you want to see fight?
What two athletes do I want to see fight?
Nice little celebrity boxing match, as they've been doing. What two athletes you put?
Do they have to be like retired athletes, or do they have to be like playing athletes?
I think anybody is fair game.
Oh, I think Connie. Not Connie. I think Josh has a good one.
Josh does. Pat Bev and Westbrook sells the most pay-per-views of all time.
Nah, you know what? You know what I want to see? Give me LeBron James versus Isaiah Stewart, a rematch of the elbow gate.
That's a good one.
Give me Isaiah Stewart versus LeBron James. I want to see Isaiah Stewart go full haymaker. Just see what the Kings got. I would love to see that. I mean, another one, I guess, if I want to throw it out. It's hard to choose a.
I got one, right? I got one. You ready?
Let's hear it.
It happened on the field, basically. You could go with Aqib Talib and
Crabtree.
Oh yeah, Lance Armstrong versus somebody. I don't know how to say that last name.
Messinero. It has to be biker legends because I know like Lance Armstrong.
KD versus Westbrook would be wild. Josh said, "Just give me Westbrook." To be honest, listen, that anything Westbrook in a fight, yeah, I'm watching that.
Yeah, and then after the fight, you're gonna see Westbrook just crip walk all over him.
Yo, give me KD versus Draymond right after that thing happened where he called him a bitch. Like I need them to just right when Draymond's called him a bitch, just to be automatically transported into a boxing ring. Because that's how you know.
No, you know what? LeBron versus JR 2018.
That's a good one.
LeBron would just full on just body.
You could go
and just say, "You cost me game one. I dropped 51 and I still lost."
You could go with Andre Johnson versus what's his name?
Finnegan?
Yeah, Cortland Finnegan. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. He picked him up, slammed him down, and gave him like a 2 or 3 haymakers.
Oh man,
you know what? Give me DeAndre Hopkins, I think, versus D'Angelo Hall, where he broke his ankles into it. I just ended an all-star now. It's like I
give me that's another one you can do. Who remembers? Everybody has to remember Nolan Ryan versus oh man, was it Nomar that charged the mound? And
I remember that because I remember it was a young guy. It was a young batter in like his second or third year. Then Nolan Ryan was this veteran. He put him in a headlock and just beat his ass. Like gave him like a good old 1, 2, 3. Josh got some pretty good ones.
Robin Ventura, there we go, versus Nolan Ryan.
Josh has been pulling up with some good ones. Jimmy Butler versus Westbrook, that'd be good.
That's true. A lot of NBA ones. I feel like there's
gotta be, Jimmy Butler and Rachel Nichols in the bubble, man. You know what I mean?
I feel like okay. I feel
No,
like
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. On a serious note, you know what?
I
Chris
feel like
Paul
there's a lot
versus
of
Rajon
NFL
Rondo.
ones we're missing.
Give me Chris Paul versus Rajon Rondo. I would
Oh,
love to see
okay.
that.
See,
The Spitgate.
that's another one. I'm trying to think of NFL ones because I mean they're actually allowed to hit. Oh, come on! You got to give me Odell versus
The kick and net.
no. Josh Norman. You got to give me Odell,
yeah.
Josh Norman. I mean,
that was peak, especially when like the Panthers, Josh Norman. Oh man, I always wonder what happened to that Josh Norman. Ever since Josh Norman got paid by Washington, he just never became the same.
That's what we call a one-hit wonder. Oh yeah,
exactly.
We got Gobert and Embiid.
Hey, that'd be something. You know what? I want to see an NFL matchup.
We can go
no, you know what? You know what? Here's an NFL fighting matchup that I would love to see. This would never happen, but I'd love to see Brady versus Manning, Eli Manning. Tom Brady trying to sucker punch Eli Manning twice and said, "You fucked me over 2 rings. I want my restitution."
Yo, listen, like I said though, give me A-Rod, Jason Varitek after that little slap when he tried to slap the ball out of his glove. Listen, there's some good fights out there.
Yeah, there definitely are. There are definitely a lot of good ones. A roid one that I would love to see. I would love to see like Barry Bonds versus Jose Canseco.
You know what? That rage would go crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally hit that. It was Joe Rogan versus Dana White.
Joe Rogan and Dana White. Bill versus Saban. Hey, but they're bullies.
Wait,
bullies,
which
though.
Bill? We talking? No, you know what? Bill versus Bill. Bill Parcells versus Bill Belichick.
You know, we could do Tom Brady versus the Buffalo Bills organization. You know,
we could do Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears organization.
I believe Brady's 34-3 against the Bills now. So you know.
We got a lot of fights that you can
listen.
throw in there.
We might have to start scheduling some of these. I'm just saying. Matt, we'll move on though. We'll go on once again. Matt, give me your QB of the week.
God, my QB of the week. You got a lot of good varieties. There are a lot to choose from, but I honestly think it is none other than Aaron Rodgers as quarterback of the week. Robert Quinn.
You know what? Usually I would make a joke about you being a Packer fan, but I think this is fair. I think it's fair.
Robert Quinn, you mocked the belt. Don't you know what happens when you mock the belt? When you mock the belt, you get blamed. You get torched. And that's exactly what Rodgers did to the Bears. He went 29 of 37, had 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, and then, just Rodgers did his thing. I mean, we're talking in the MVP race, you got a 44-year-old quarterback and a 37-year-old quarterback in the runnings for the MVP race. And then, a guy named Jonathan Taylor. And maybe just maybe Winston-Annapolis. But I think QB of the week has to be Aaron Rodgers. You can name a couple others. I might know where you're going with it, but give me Aaron Rodgers.
Matt, I think I'm going to surprise you because it was actually in a losing effort, but I'm still going to go Josh Allen. And give me Josh. And listen, I know they lost, but man had over 300 yards passing, had over 100 yards rushing. I believe he had 2 touchdowns through the air and a touchdown via the legs. So, Josh Allen, you lost, but you're my QB of the week, especially because we find out after the game the man's in a walking boot. So, you know what, Josh? Another one. Herbert, QB of the week. I don't blame you there.
Man, I really thought you were going to go with Tom Brady.
I wanted to.
I really thought you were going to go with your Godfather.
I don't like being predictable. Sometimes, man, you got to switch it up every once in a while.
Yeah, well, if you're going to switch it up, you should have been like Joshua with Herbert. I mean, how you going to give a losing quarterback QB of the week?
Hey, listen.
That's just like that's almost like saying like, oh, you know what? That's just like me in fantasy football. It's like, oh, you know what? You may have won round 2, but you know what? You're going to be 5th place.
Taysom Hill is not a quarterback. I refuse to believe it.
No, he's not. He's a gadget guy.
He runs the Wildcat every play. That's not actually a quarterback. But speaking of non-quarterback awards, we got to give out our player of the week too, Matt. So was there a certain player out there that you look at and you're giving some props to?
The player of the week to me has to be Tom Brady. I mean, the guy is
No, it has to be a non-quarterback, Matt.
Oh man, a non-quarterback.
That's why we do quarterback and player of the week. We don't only show quarterbacks love on this show. I'll let you do some research. I'll give you mine.
Oh man, I was gonna say I gotta search that now.
Yeah. Listen, you do your research. It's okay. You know we sprung it on you. Hey, Mr. Dalvin Cook. I think he had over 130 yards rushing in the first half of the game.
I got mine.
He got 2 touchdowns in the game. Got me a bunch of fantasy points in my boys' league to keep me alive.
So he got me 35.
Dalvin Cook, you're my player of the week.
I got mine. George Kittle.
You know what?
Talk about putting a team on your back. I mean, George Kittle. If George Kittle isn't on the 49ers, they're irrelevant. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the Jimmy Garoppolo that we know of. George Kittle, you talk about a guy who will put your team on your back. George Kittle is that man. And I'll even pull up his stat line. 13 catches, 151 yards, got a touchdown. He literally did everything. He put his nutsack all over the Cincinnati Bengals. Like he did everything. The old saying is, can you smell what the Rock is cooking? What George Kittle was cooking, he was cooking up. He was cooking the Cincinnati Bengals. If the Bengals don't make the playoffs, it'll be because of George Kittle. That's how great of a performance George Kittle put on.
It's fair. It is certainly fair. Josh has Justin Simmons best interception celebration. Rest in peace, Demarius Thomas. Man,
that's a no-brainer.
We didn't talk about that, but I can't. I mean, what was that during last Monday night's game?
It was on Thursday. It was
Thursday. You're right.
Yeah, it was Thursday night football.
Thursday night game. That news came down crazy, bro. I mean, obviously everybody remembers Demarius Thomas for the overtime touchdown, but he was underrated because he was in, he was during the prime of like Julio and everybody like that. So he never really got the love he deserved, but 33 years old, man. Crazy that he dies so young. I guess he had gotten into a car accident earlier on in the year or last year maybe, and had started experiencing seizures after the crash. It sounds like he was, just at home taking a shower and ended up having one, hit his head, sadly passed away. But crazy. Prayers out to Demarius Thomas family, everything like that, because I saw that and I was like, man, I'm not like you. Sucks when you lose people, bro, especially at that age. I mean, like 33, there's still people 33 playing in the NFL. Like, it's not like he was an old dude or anything like that, but, he was a bigger wide receiver. They had to take him out, on his legs and everything like that. So obviously got hard for him to play, but crazy news. So
absolutely.
We move on from there. And, we'll skip some of this, and Matt, we're going to go to our week 15 picks to round out the show here. And let me pull up the share. Now, listen, people, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit, right? Well, I usually make a beautiful graphic that, shows the upcoming games, has our logo on and everything. When Josh told me he wasn't going to be able to do the show because it was kind of up in the air, and then, Josh told me he couldn't do it. I was thinking about not doing the show, but I was like, the people deserve the show, and I knew Matt could step in. But listen, I didn't make the graphic. I didn't make it, okay? Shoot me. So, with that being said, we got the NFL.com schedule, though, baby. We're okay.
That's right. Looking like the hard count out here.
Exactly. We do this on the hard count. We'll survive, people. So, Matt, we're going to start off. We got the Chiefs and the Chargers. Now, Josh, I don't know if you're still in here, but I'm going to need you to send me your picks in or keep track of your own picks. Actually, no. I need you to text them to me, because I don't want you changing nothing over there and, taking the lead back from me. Because right now, people, it's sad. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Josh even admits it. I'm up 1. Josh, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I am. I think we're tied because I went 2-1 this week. I was down 1. And because I picked the Bengals, you had the 49ers. So I think we're tied up. See, Josh, I'm even being truthful here. I'm even being truthful. I wish I was up one, but I think we're tied. Josh has been having some math trouble recently on the show, so it's okay. I was never good at math either, so I can't judge him. But we'll start it off. Chiefs at the Chargers. Matt, who do you have in this one?
I got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, they've been red hot. I think they continue their winning streak. This is a much different Chiefs team than who the Chargers played against earlier. I think the earlier they played was week 3. Week 3, I believe, if I was not mistaken.
So,
it was early in the season. It was I think the first quarter of the season, either week 3 or week 4. But I mean, that week 3, week 4 Chiefs team is a lot different than week 14 Kansas City. I'm going the Chiefs. I think they're going to get revenge after they got upset in Arrowhead last time they played. And to be quite honest, it's going to be another Chiefs home game. That SoFi Stadium for the Chargers is basically road games galore. Give me Kansas City. I'd much rather trust a Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback than a guy in Justin Herbert who's on the come up but hasn't accomplished anything yet.
Yeah, I really want to pick the Chargers here, but like the Chiefs, obviously after this week, are kind of rolling a little bit. Maybe they're going to, be feeling themselves. So, man, as much as it pains me, I am going to pick the Chiefs as well. We move on to the Raiders and the Browns. Easy one for me. I'm going Browns. Raiders are kind of a mess.
Yeah, 100% as well. I'm going with the Browns. I'd much rather trust the Browns than I would the Raiders. Raiders are a complete disaster. Cleveland, they're hanging in there by a thread, but I think the thread will hang on by another week.
Next up, my boys are going over to Indy, a.k.a. Wentzanapolis, and they got to face Jonathan Taylor, one of the MVP front runners. But hey, listen, he's not going to be an MVP in this game. No, he is not, because Bill's going to say, listen, you're not allowed to run the ball. We're going to take away what you do best. So I'm going with the Pats.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. I'm going with the Patriots. I trust Bill Belichick and the Patriots more than I do the Colts. As much as I love to see Wentzanapolis get one, it's Bill freaking Belichick. There's just no way.
Next up, we have the Cowboys at the Giants. A nice little rivalry game here. Listen, the Giants, I can confirm, are not a football team. Okay? They're not. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Ooh, who do I got? Yeah, I was going to say give me the Cowboys. This is another no-brainer one. Cowboys all the way.
All right, bro. Texans at Jags. Oh, man. I don't know. Come on, bro. We got 2-11 teams here. Like, I have no idea who's actually going to win this game. Matt, Matt, who do you think wins? I don't know. I got to think. Look at this. Josh even says whoever Connie picks. He doesn't want this to be one of the games that we differ on. You know what? Screw it. I want Trevor Lawrence to get his 3rd win of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I look at that and I might have to go with the Jaguars as well. I mean, you look at you got Giraffe, you got the Giraffe at quarterback and Davis Mills.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, I don't know what it is. Whenever the Jaguars are under fire, they seem to find a way. I mean, remember Urban Meyer, stuck a finger up some fish, and he found a way to win against the Dolphins the next week. What's the drama this week? There's a whole rumor on how he basically said, I'm a winner and you're a loser. And I think the Jaguars are going to find a way. I mean, they're both dumpster fires. If you really want to watch this game, you need help. But just give me the Jaguars. Somebody's got to win. Now, what'll be hilarious if it ends in a tie? That'll be the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. But if I have to pick one, give me the Jaguars.
Now we got the Titans at the Steelers, man. And this is another one that I'm not confident in. I do not like this game at all. Like, I feel like the Titans should win, but I like the Steelers defense. Oh, Kyler, you just missed a wide open touchdown to AJ Green. It's okay, buddy. Man. Games at home for the Steelers. Coming off a tough loss. Man. I'll go with the Steelers, bro.
You know what? I agree with you as well. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers with the upset. I think it's at Heinz Field. The Steelers are going to look at this as an opportunity to win the North, which I boldly predicted earlier in the
Bold,
episode.
right.
So I got to stand by it. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Next up, the Jets at the Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins here easily.
Yeah.
Jets are also not a football team.
Yeah, no brainer as well. Give me the Dolphins. I'll take the Dolphins over the poverty franchise.
Washington football team at the Eagles. This could get interesting. Now, listen, I need to know if Taylor Heineke is playing in this game, because that changes a whole lot. So Josh, I think this is what we do, right? Oh man, you know what? I think the Eagles win.
Yeah, give me the Birds. Give me the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to take care of business on this one. Like you mentioned, Connie, you even said the Eagles make that push for the 7th seed. This is where it starts. The push for the 7th seed begins at home. Even our guy in color has Ben Hoyt. He's going to be at the game. So we're pulling for the Eagles in this one.
Now, Josh, you said Ron Rivera in the comments. Does that mean you're going with Washington? Is that what that means?
Yeah, he's going. You know, Josh is going to Washington. You know, he's pulling for his boy.
All right, he said. Now Josh said, "Give me the Eagles." Then, all right,
no. I was gonna you keep him at Washington. That's Ron Rivera's his guy.
No, honestly, it's okay that he switches his pick, because I don't want this to be one of the games.
He's not give me wrong. He's about Gimke.
He said just a name. Cardinals at the Lions. All right, not even worth talking about.
Yeah.
Panthers at the Bills. Another one. I'm good. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, I'll take the Bills as well.
Bengals at the Broncos. Man, you know, the battle of 7-6 teams. I think the Bengals are a better team.
Yeah, it's at Mile High.
It's at Mile High. I know. It scares me a little. But give me the Bengals.
Man, this is where we differ. I'm going now. Yeah, I'm going with Denver. I think I don't know what is it. It's sad that Demaryius Thomas passed away, but I think they're going to use that as like a camaraderie come together. I think they're going to find a way to pull through for Demaryius Thomas. I think the Broncos are going to try to find a way to push, and this is the game to where it's at Mile High, and I think Denver's going to find a way.
Well, hey, I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. Next up, we have the Falcons at the 49ers. I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one. They're making that playoff push. Falcons aren't very good in my eyes.
Yeah, give me the 49ers as well. 49ers, especially when you got George Kittle cooking up like that, the Niners are only going to get better.
Seahawks at the Rams. Listen, I said that the Seahawks were going to go on a run here to attempt to make the playoffs. But they're just not good. Like, they're really not. So I have to go with the Rams. And then please, Seattle, trade Russell Wilson to a team where he can actually do something.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams as well. Trade Russ to Denver. Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad.
Trade Russ to Denver, and then just kickstart your full rebuild. Connie, you already know who I'm going with on this next one.
I'm also going with the Packers against the Ravens.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, you look at with how Green Bay is playing right now. Granted, our special teams is one of the worst I have ever seen. I mean, our special teams is like, if you want to look at the dictionary word of, as CJ mentions, dirt, our special teams pops up front and center.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
Like, how do we, Connie, I need to know how we allowed that 97-yard punt return when we had him in wraps inside the 5.
You certainly did.
And then he went along the side. And what's funny is we got lucky twice. Amari Rodgers boink off his forehead, and we got lucky because it was illegal formation. And then on the muff onside, our guy barely touched it, and it's dead on sight instead of a touchdown for the Bears. I mean, something has to change for the special teams, because if that same shit happens, we're gonna lose a playoff game. And I would not want to have. I could not live with myself if we lose a game because of our special teams.
It would be. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not because that hasn't already happened or something.
Yeah, like 2014. I already know.
With that being said, the final game again. the final game of Week 15, Saints at the Bucs. Now, listen, people, this should be a very easy game to pick the Bucs in,
The
but
Saints
Tom
always play
Brady
them
is
tough.
not good. Tom is not good against the Saints, but I don't care.
But there is no Jameis Winston.
I don't care. Bucs for the win. Taysom Hill is not good at football.
He's good at he's good at everything else besides quarterback.
True. He's mid in a lot of things.
Mid. Yeah, give me the Buccaneers as well. I mean, yes, Brady has had a bad record against the Saints, but when he needs to beat the Saints the most, he does. Look at last year in the playoffs, basically send Drew Brees to retirement home, and I think he's going to do it this year, send the Saints home from the playoffs.
Connie up one next week automatically because I picked the Panthers.
Hey,
Josh,
you never know, Josh. You never know. If the Jaguars can beat the Bills, the Panthers can as well.
I'll be very sad.
If one zoo animal can beat the Bills, another zoo animal can.
I'll be very, very sad. But that'll be the end of the show, people. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Another great episode, Josh. We will have you back next week. Obviously, Matt, I appreciate you for filling in as always. Now, before we go, of course, Matt, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me, my Twitter handle down below at Matt_Skura. Also, check out on Colorcast at MattSkuraUSN. And check out my Instagram at Matt_Skura20. In each of those links in my bio, it gives you access to my sports podcast that me and my great friend Caleb Conant do called MCS Real Sports Podcast. We talk all things NBA and NFL related, and it's available everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it. It's available everywhere. And check out Sunday nights. We have prime time with Hoyt and Wise Cheese. Me and my good friend Ben Hoyt. We like to stream the Sunday night football games. It's an open invite for anybody. They're more than welcome to join in. And as always, Connie, it is a pleasure to be on Generational Sports. It's been a while since I've been on here, but it's always great to be on here. And I'm definitely excited to see what goes down this Monday night game and excited for Week 15.
Yes, sir. As for me, you guys know what it is by now. Anthony Conover _ over there on Twitter for the personal account, Gen Z Sports for the pod, and obviously this show's Twitter. Anthony _ Conover on Twitch as well. I put all of my pods over there. Might start up this stream again. You never know. And listen, like Josh said, make sure you use code Gen Z on Underdog Fantasy. Double your first deposit up to $100. You can also catch me Tuesdays, 9 Eastern, the hard count with me and my boy CJ, breaking down everything in the NFL world. Obviously, me and Josh usually do this every Monday at 7 Eastern, but we had Matt filling. And then Thursday, we have Backstop Banter, me and my boy, Mr. Michael Lawson, covering everything in the baseball world. So make sure you go and check that out as well. But, oh, wait, and of course, like Matt said, check out the Colorcast. My name over there is AConoverUSN. You know, I can't fit the full name. You know, my full name is 14 characters plus the USN. I wouldn't let me fit it. So I decided to, put it down a little bit. But with that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in as always. And listen, people, we will catch you on the next episode. Deuces.